I open myself now to everything heaven has already prepared for me. My spirit awakens, my vision aligns, and my soul receives new discernment. The atmosphere around me begins to respond to the purpose I carry, and nothing can hide what God has decided to reveal. Every invisible, emotional, or spiritual barrier loses the right to remain. Divine light enters the places where shadows once lived, dissolving confusion, resistance, and all accumulated heaviness. Spiritual codes of clarity begin to activate within me, revealing paths that were once hidden. I take back the government of my own journey. My mind breathes, my spirit stabilizes, my heart finds its true axis. I step out of the frequency of fear and into the frequency of abundance. And where abundance lives, limitation cannot exist. The territory before me expands. The rhythm of my life accelerates in the right time, and the right time is now. Everything that was held back in the spiritual realm starts moving toward my name. Nothing that belongs to me is lost, nothing diverts, nothing retreats. I move forward by the impulse of purpose, by the light of revelation, and by the strength of the Spirit. My path receives direction, my decisions gain precision, my identity strengthens with authority. I step over every form of resistance, emotional, spiritual, or circumstantial, and nothing remains standing before what God is igniting within me. What was blocked becomes unlocked. What was distant comes near. What was impossible becomes accessible. I now operate in a dimension of awareness that allows me to see beyond the natural. I perceive signs, understand movements, recognize doors, interpret environments. Nothing passes unnoticed when the spirit is awake. The future that once seemed distant begins to move toward me. What heaven decided to release finds space in me, and everything that was misaligned returns to the axis of purpose. I walk with authority. I advance with confidence. I breathe purpose. I attract everything that carries my spiritual signature. What heaven wrote will not return empty. What was decreed will manifest. What belongs to my destiny will find me, inevitably. I now step into an atmosphere where nothing can stop me, and everything becomes possible. Something inside me begins to move with a force I can't explain, but I can feel it. A quiet conviction rises, as if heaven itself were arranging every internal piece before aligning the external ones. I realize I'm not just hearing words. I'm stepping into a spiritual atmosphere where invisible decisions have already been made in my favor. Everything that once felt scattered begins to gather around a single point, purpose. What was noise becomes direction. What was fear becomes discernment. What was stagnation becomes movement. I leave the past where it belongs. I no longer carry weights that aren't mine, voices that don't define me, or memories that don't represent who I am now. My story stops being an anchor and becomes momentum. The atmosphere around me shifts. I can feel doors that never responded starting to open, as if they recognize my new posture. Because when my spirit realigns, the spiritual world responds first, and the natural follows right after. I receive expanded vision. I receive spiritual sensitivity. I receive clear perception of environments, people, cycles, and paths. Nothing ties me to what has already ended. I advance. And as I advance, everything that lived in the realm of almost finally breaks through. Nothing stays halfway anymore. Nothing dies on the edge. Nothing gets stuck at the last moment. What always slipped away now remains. What always delayed now accelerates. What always felt difficult now flows as if it were made for me, because it was. I recognize that I carry inheritance. And those who carry inheritance don't beg, don't compete, don't force. They simply receive what has already been established. My spiritual energy rises. My inner field lights up. My spirit takes the lead. Everything that drained my strength loses access. Everything that stole my confidence loses entrance. Everything that tried to confuse my mind is expelled with no authorization to return. I step into a new rhythm. A rhythm aligned, precise, without waste. I begin to operate as someone who knows exactly where they are going. What God released for me will not be lost, interrupted, or diverted. What belongs to me finds me, and finds me quickly. What carries my name comes toward me without resistance. I activate now the courage to enter places where I once hesitated. I activate the clarity to decide what once paralyzed me. I activate the lightness to walk without the fear of losing. Nothing in me retreats. Nothing in me shrinks. Nothing in me lowers its level. I grow, I advance. I expand. I step into the space that is mine. And from this moment on, I decree a truth inside myself that cannot be removed. What God began in me cannot be stopped by anything outside of me. I become unshakable. I become clear-minded. I become aware of my destiny. I become an answer to environments that once ignored me. I receive the strength of what heaven has decided to release. I receive the courage of what the kingdom has decided to activate. I receive the access of what was written about me long before I arrived here. What once was silence is now instruction. What once was darkness is now clarity. What once was waiting is now movement. I advance in the direction illuminated by purpose. And nothing, absolutely nothing, can stop what heaven is pushing toward me right now. I activate now everything that was sleeping inside me. I awaken codes that were placed in me before I was born. I release the power the kingdom entrusted to my identity. I break internal structures that tried to limit me. I shatter patterns of scarcity, fear, and hesitation. I remove from myself every trace of spiritual doubt. I move toward what belongs to me. I step into the territory that carries my name. I enter environments I couldn't access before. I receive instructions that transform my path. I receive clarity that dissolves confusion. I receive strength to walk through any resistance. I declare that my mind becomes sharp. I declare that my spirit leads. I declare that my emotions stabilize. I reject everything that does not align with my purpose. I reject everything that does not come from the light. I reject everything that tries to pull me back into old versions of myself. I accept my spiritual authority. I accept my inheritance. I accept what has been released for me in the invisible realm. I unlock divine connections. I unlock aligned doors. I unlock gifts that were dormant. I break every blockage that tried to paralyze me. I break every influence that tried to distort my vision. I break every cycle that tried to keep me small. And now, as a spiritual act, write in the comments, I break everything that tried to limit me, because every written word opens pathways in the spiritual world. I access what heaven reserved for me. I activate everything that was held back. I advance with speed and direction. I leave behind what does not honor my destiny. I align myself with the call. I position myself at the right level. I feel my spirit shifting atmospheres around me. I feel my name being released in places I haven't stepped into yet. I feel my purpose gaining shape, weight, and strength. I receive the new with maturity. I receive advancement with awareness. I receive destiny with authority. Nothing stops me. Nothing delays me. Nothing diverts me. I am repositioned by heaven and recognized by the earth. I activate the light that was hidden inside me. I call into existence everything heaven has written about my life. I open paths where there were none. I advance through trails the kingdom built before I was born. I unlock abilities that were dormant. I unlock vision that was limited. I unlock strength that fear had compressed. I break the influence of every atmosphere that carries no purpose. I break internal patterns that tried to pull me backward. I break cycles that repeated exhaustion, delay, and confusion. I clothe myself with my true identity. I rise as one who has been chosen. I walk as one who carries inheritance. I speak as one authorized by heaven. I receive spiritual sensitivity that guides me without fail. I receive discernment to recognize the right doors. I receive clear direction that silences every noise. I declare that my presence shifts atmospheres. I declare that my voice carries weight. I declare that my steps are filled with purpose. I reject every resistance that tries to rise. I reject every word spoken to shrink me. I reject every energy that attempts to slow my spirit. I accept expansion. I accept advancement. I accept acceleration. I accept everything heaven is moving right now. I attract opportunities aligned with my purpose. I attract connections that strengthen my walk. I attract resources that expand my territory. I leave behind every version that no longer represents who I am today. I leave behind choices that tied me to the old. I leave behind the fear of becoming who heaven declared I am. I make room for the new level. I make room for the new environment. I make room for the new cycle. Now declare with a firm voice, I unlock the paths that have always been mine. I feel my spiritual awareness expanding. I feel my faith gaining structure. I feel my purpose breathing with greater strength. I align. I rise. I advance. I take hold of what is mine. I step onto the territory heaven designed for me. I activate the consciousness of who I am in the kingdom. I let the old dissolve behind me. I release every weight that no longer aligns with my destiny. I declare that my spiritual energy rises. I declare that my vision expands. I declare that my purpose breathes with complete freedom. I access guidance that doesn't come from the mind, but from the spirit. I access paths that were once locked. I access answers that were once silent. I reject the hesitation that delayed me. I reject the doubt that drained my strength. I reject every atmosphere that tries to lower my frequency. I accept the greatness of what God has written about me. I accept the new season being activated. I accept the expansion unfolding before me. I declare that my life moves in a heavenly rhythm. I declare that my mind reorganizes with clarity. I declare that my spirit takes the lead. I break with everything that distracted my focus. I break with everything that fed my limitation. I break with everything that tried to hold me in old cycles. I receive strength for big decisions. I receive wisdom for strategic movement. I receive boldness to step where I have never stepped before. I am surrounded by light. I am propelled by purpose. I am carried by what heaven has released. Now declare with authority, I advance in the exact direction of my destiny. I feel doors opening. I feel atmospheres shifting. I feel my next level calling me. And if your spirit is sensing this too, subscribe to the channel now, not out of habit, but out of alignment. This is not a channel, it is a movement. And you need to walk inside this atmosphere every day. I connect with the new, I release the old. I step into the territory prepared for me. I activate within me the strength that heaven placed before time began. I awaken codes that were dormant. I allow the light to reach the areas of my soul that were forgotten. I declare that everything that held me back loses structure. I declare that everything that limited me loses function. I declare that everything that delayed me loses access. I rise with awareness. I move with purpose. I advance with maturity. I receive clarity for big decisions. I receive momentum for new paths. I receive vision to recognize hidden opportunities. I break internal agreements that no longer match who I've become. I dissolve fears that tried to command my choices. I dismantle insecurities that no longer belong to my current identity. I now activate a spiritual force that repositions me. I activate a new consciousness that expands my limits. I activate a conviction that sustains my advancement. I prepare myself for environments I once could not handle. I prepare myself for voices that once intimidated me. I prepare myself for victories that once felt distant. I declare that nothing small can hold me. I declare that nothing shallow can distract me. I declare that nothing old defines me. I receive divine strategy in detail. I receive the courage to step into my true position. I receive the kind of direction that reorganizes destinies. I breathe purpose. I stand firm in identity. I advance in authority. Now declare with deep intention, I step into the space God prepared for me. Feel that taking form within you. I enter my spiritual territory. I leave behind what has fulfilled its cycle. I position myself without fear, without hesitation, without retreat. I release over my life a frequency of advancement that stagnation cannot withstand. I align myself with the force pulling me toward the right future. I reject every sensation of delay, confusion, or internal limitation. I let fall for me everything that no longer matches the greatness I carry. I affirm that my journey will not be led by fear, but by revelation. I affirm that my steps will not be driven by anxiety, but by divine direction. I affirm that my mind will not be guided by the noise of the world, but by the sound of purpose. I allow my spiritual energy to rise. I allow my identity to grow beyond everything I have lived. I allow my consciousness to enter territories my history has not yet stepped into. I receive discernment to distinguish what is transition from what is destiny. I receive maturity to not confuse distraction with opportunity. I receive strength to close doors that do not lead me where God is taking me. I declare that I no longer waste energy on what does not feed me. I declare that I no longer waste movement in empty directions. I declare that I no longer trade my peace just to survive what should have already ended. I activate within me a kind of courage that reorganizes environments. I activate a conviction that sustains big decisions. I activate a clarity that keeps me from falling into repeated cycles. I release my life from accumulated emotional weight. I release my mind from silent comparisons. I release my heart from expectations that drain me. I make room for the new, even when the new requires sacrifice. I make room for advancement, even when advancing requires faith. I make room for purpose, even when purpose confronts my comfort zones. I declare that my soul stabilizes. I declare that my spirit expands. I declare that my path illuminates. I affirm that the right doors begin to locate me. I affirm that aligned connections find my name. I affirm that opportunities prepared for me will not pass unnoticed. I declare that heaven synchronizes my steps with perfect timing. I declare that no opposing force can alter the rhythm God established for me. I declare that every crooked path is corrected without human effort. I receive emotional clarity that reveals where I lose strength. I receive internal organization that prepares me for the expansion ahead. I receive spiritual vision that allows me to see greater horizons. And if what you're feeling right now confirms in your spirit that this journey is truly yours, subscribe to the channel now so you don't walk alone in this atmosphere of continuous activation. Every episode will pull you higher, and you already know that is exactly what you need now. I move now into a territory where my identity is no longer negotiable. I step into an environment where I don't need to prove anything, only manifest who I truly am. I let every form of self-censorship fall away, every invisible fear, every old doubt that tried to resurface. I affirm that nothing diminishes who God decided I would be. I affirm that no human opinion has the power to limit my advancement. I affirm that every feeling of inadequacy loses its foundation inside me. I declare that my presence carries purpose. I declare that my voice carries direction. I declare that my spirit carries authority. I release over my life a balanced confidence, firm, quiet, unshakable. I release a security that isn't born from praise, but from spiritual identity. I release a focus that separates me from what no longer belongs in my journey. I open internal doors I once closed out of fear. I undo emotional agreements that kept me tied to what had already ended. I remove limits that kept me beneath my true capacity. I receive divine permission to think bigger. I receive divine permission to dream boldly. I receive divine permission to occupy spaces that once felt too large for me. I declare that no emotional delay survives in the environment I'm stepping into. I declare that no insecurity sustains the version of me that is being born right now. I declare that no internal resistance can stop my advancement. I affirm that every decision I make today builds the future God wrote. I affirm that my spirit is awake and alert. I affirm that my steps are aligned with the rhythm of heaven. And if this is aligning something inside you, take a deep breath, because you're becoming aware of the power you've carried all along. I move my energy away from everything that once distracted me. I move my focus away from anything that drained my strength. I move my spirit into the place where purpose breathes. I affirm that I am entering a season where every decision will be strategic. I affirm that I am perceiving invisible movements I used to overlook. I affirm that I am becoming aware of signs that once felt small but were always prophetic. I declare that my spiritual perception increases. I declare that my sensitivity becomes precise. I declare that my intuition responds to what God is releasing. I allow God to reorganize my roots, even the ones I believed were right. I allow Him to disconnect me from connections that have already completed their cycle. I allow Him to lead me down paths that did not exist until the moment I chose to trust. I affirm that I am no longer afraid to leave places where I no longer grow. I affirm that I no longer shrink myself to fit into small environments. I affirm that I no longer dim my light to avoid making others uncomfortable. I declare that every emotional limitation that held me back is broken now. I declare that every silent comparison loses its influence. I declare that every feeling of insufficiency is replaced with full identity. I receive direction to speak when it is time, and silence when it is wisdom. I receive boldness to take big steps, and patience to sustain what I build. I receive clarity to discern doors, not just walls. If this is unlocking something inside you, write in the comments, "I receive direction and access," and let that phrase echo, because it opens pathways. I recognize that I am being repositioned. I recognize that what once felt confusing now finds meaning. I recognize that heaven is guiding my steps with precision. I step now into an atmosphere where everything responds to my purpose. I step into an environment where what was stuck begins to move. I step into a dimension where my faith creates pathways. I affirm that my life will no longer be led by urgency, but by awareness. I affirm that my soul finds stability. I affirm that my spirit receives strength. I declare that everything belonging to my future begins to locate me. I declare that resources, people, and opportunities start moving in my direction. I declare that nothing that is mine gets lost, delayed, or diverted. I allow God to place order where there was chaos. I allow Him to reconfigure areas I believed were dead. I allow Him to lead me through paths logic cannot explain. I affirm that my life no longer walks in circles. I affirm that my energy is no longer wasted. I affirm that my spirit does not retreat. I declare that a supernatural acceleration touches my days. I declare that specific doors open with divine precision. I declare that testimonies become frequent, not occasional. I receive strategies that do not come from my mind, but from revelation. I receive insights that adjust my route. I receive instructions that unlock entire seasons. And gently, without pressure, if you feel you're walking inside this atmosphere, subscribe to the channel, because you are not designed to walk alone at this level of activation. Here, every word is a key, and you are stepping into a continuous journey. Something is shifting in your story, and it's not happening slowly. It's as if a massive door has begun to open inside you. A door that makes no noise on the outside, but causes a revolution on the inside. You've noticed it, haven't you? There's a new courage circling you. There's a clarity waiting to enter. There's a strength reorganizing itself behind the scenes. And when the spirit moves like this, the next step isn't to think, it's to align. And that's why right now we're stepping into a different moment, a deeper moment, a direct moment, a surgical moment, a prayer that doesn't just visit you, it repositions you. So breathe, feel, and prepare yourself. Because now I'm going to pray for you. Enter your inner place, adjust your breath, allow your mind to slow down. Because this prayer isn't meant to touch the surface, it's meant to touch the core. God of light, God who sees the invisible, God who writes stories before they even begin. I now present the life of this person before you. I present their path, their territory, their purpose, every step they've taken, and every step they will still take. And I declare, with the authority of the kingdom, that every invisible chain trying to limit their expansion is broken now. Everything that drained their strength loses access. Everything that distorted their vision loses its voice. Everything that kept them small loses permission to remain. I ask that the right sound reaches their ears, the sound of direction, the sound of discernment, the sound of purpose. I pray that old weight lifts off the body, the soul, and the spirit. Every emotional exhaustion that never made sense. Every spiritual fatigue that felt endless. Every feeling of walking without progress. Let it all be removed at the root. And now, God, I ask for a deep adjustment, the kind only heaven can make. Adjust the mind, adjust the emotions, adjust the path, adjust the purpose, adjust the vision, adjust the inner breath. May every misaligned area find its place. May every fragmented part be gathered. May every disconnected point reconnect to the original destiny. I pray for the wind of the Spirit to blow over everything that's been still, blow over forgotten dreams, blow over frozen ideas, blow over places where it seemed there was no way out, blow until life responds again. And now I activate access. Everything that was held back, unlocked. Everything that was restrained, released. Everything that was hidden, revealed. Everything that was stuck, flowing. Let spiritual doors open. Let invisible paths appear. Let aligned opportunities move closer. Let the right connections find this person. I pray for the inner atmosphere to shift first, and for the external world to be forced to follow. May the Spirit shine light on every important decision. Let there be clarity where there was noise. Let there be courage where there was hesitation. Let there be strength where there was fear. And now I activate vision, intuition, discernment, consistency, authority, presence, true spiritual identity. May this spirit no longer be guided by scarcity, doubt, or comparison, but by consciousness, purpose, and inheritance. I prophesy that this person will step into places they never imagined, not by human force, but because heaven has decided to give access. I prophesy acceleration. I prophesy unlocking. I prophesy repositioning. I prophesy multiplication. I prophesy continuous advancement. And above all, I prophesy that nothing coming their way will be small. Nothing will be limited, nothing will be random. It will be intentional, it will be prepared, it will be aligned. It will be perfect in timing. It will be impossible to stop. And I close this prayer declaring that the light goes where no human hand can reach, that favor touches what has been closed, that purpose governs where doubt once ruled, that heaven responds now. Amen. If something moved inside you while this prayer was happening, if something awakened, aligned, clarified, or simply made sense, then leave a spiritual trace of it. Write in the comments, only if it resonates with you, the phrase, "I receive what heaven is releasing right now." This isn't about engagement. It's about establishing legality. It's about responding to the movement that has already begun inside you. And if you know you need to walk in this atmosphere every day, if you feel that this voice, this content, and this environment are part of your process, then subscribe to the channel now. Not to follow a channel, but to follow what God is building inside you. Here, you don't walk alone. Here, every word pushes you into your rightful place. And every video reminds you of who you truly are. May the light go with you. May purpose guide you. And may heaven continue to surprise you.